Hi everyone. Today we're going to be sharing our second progress report on our chatbot. We have decided to name it something like UpAllNight Forums. So this is currently our slides for the presentation at the end. We're still working on it. This is just like the prototype of our presentation, but it'll look something like this. Without going into too much detail for the presentation slides, we're going to jump into our current progress with the coding. We'll start here. First, some progress that we made was automating the YouTube video transcription extractor. In the previous video, we just showed how if you inputted one YouTube link, it will produce the transcription of that YouTube video and then ask the user what word they're searching for so that the program can show the timestamp of the search words from the video. In this case, this code currently takes that API and goes through an entire list of online lectures from our course materials. In this case, it was the NIH Principles of Clinical Pharmacology playlist. It goes through all of them and creates a PDF of the transcription or our course material embeddings. A example PDF would look something like this. So it has the entire transcription all in the PDF format in like a text that a PDF reader can read easily. So that's what this first code was. This was progress on that. So all of these materials we put inside the all course materials. And then this is for us to just keep track of all the course materials that we have scraped from different websites, including the NIH course website, MIT OpenCourseWare website for the assignments, and the YouTube video transcription PDFs. So all of these are needed for our next set of codes. In this case, just for the sake of the demo video, we're not going to actually go through all of those PDFs and like extracting the text from that and then creating embeddings. But this starter code does pretty much the same thing at a smaller scale. So what it does is that it takes a model from Hugging Face. It uses Hugging Face API in order to create embeddings for a text or like a series of texts. So in this case, these texts are about Medicare and FAQ from the Medicare website. You input all of these texts and the program would create embeddings from it. And the embeddings all go into a CVS file. So these embeddings currently look like this. After you have the CSV file, you upload it to a Hugging Face repository, and then you use the second starter code. You basically just split the model into a portion for training and then a portion for testing. This model is supposed to answer the questions that you put into it. So you ask a question like, how can Medicare help me? And this program doesn't generate an AI response to that question because that was not included in our text when we create the embeddings. Currently, this program points out which of the text is most similar to the question that the user asked. If you run it and you ask the question, how can Medicare help me? The output is going to be 5 different questions that are very similar to the question that you were asking. So in this case, the first most similar question would be this one, followed by the rest. This is still different from the AI generated response, but we think this is a good place to start for creating responses from the chatbot, especially when we have to create a chatbot that points to different lecture materials or course materials regarding the student's question. So if a student is asking about what are the quality assessments for drug therapy, which is a topic inside the textbook, ideally, this program would be able to point out the page or text in the textbook that mentions something about drug therapy and quality assessments. So this is currently the progress for the large language model portion of the chatbot, and now we'll be sharing other progress in other areas.
Hi, so my progress was responsible for creating the database section to store the embeddings. I know that during our entire lab 6, we create a database from scratch every time we launch the app. And that was what I didn't want to do because I thought that the training section of the training section of the, or like the embedding and then sending it to the database took a long time. That was a section that took a considerable length of time during that lab. So I was trying to get Milvus to run. I'm honestly going through is I've been going through some issues, but the code right now, it just reads the text. It just gets the collection name, which is basically the table name in MySQL, but it's in Milvus. I chose Milvus because Milvus is pretty strong in the speed compared to other vector database, and it's completely free. It reads the text from the file path, which I tried Piazza text, chunk it using LangChain's character text splitter. I'm also considering switching to document splitter if since we are since we have to put all this into the database. Since we have so much data, it would be better if we have a database running and then the chatbot could just connect to that database, you know, instead of like having to embed everything and add it all at once every time you run the app. And then use the Hugging Face embeddings connected using it connects to the URL, which is the default port. It connects to the Milvus server and just adds the data the chunk text. And that's honestly what I've done. But the problem was I'm troubleshooting problems with the versions because a lot of Milvus and its SDKs, the PyMilvus, it does not work together that well. So yes, thank you.
I am responsible for creating a front end for basically the chatbot. And since we're still in the process of building it, right now I have a very basic front end. I might make some changes in the future. So on the left side, we're gonna have like different students asking their questions. And on the right side, when we click on each of these, it is going to enter a conversation. When the student asks a question, like it is going to get an answer from the chatbot. And we're going to implement it like this, but of course we're going to upgrade it and make it better in the future. But this is what we have right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.